Oh!
Yes. I'll show you!
Hold on! Not yet! There are things we need to cover, such as welcome back to the top for Pokemon Global League Season 6, or Week 4. And Week 4 is a little bit crazy, but I'll explain that in a second, because this week we are facing the Tasmanian Toxicroaks, coached by Max Rapture. He's sitting at 2-1 +2, but he's in the Silver Division. And why that it is Week 4 and we're facing somebody in our division, well, that's because we haven't had the best luck in Week 4. In fact, we've had 6 different games in Week 4 for 6 different seasons. We have lost every one of them. We are sitting at -22 differential for this week alone. Week 4, I mean. So I'm hoping to fix that. I'm really hoping to fix that, because it's a Silver Division. It's a divisional game, and we definitely want to avoid that. The problem is, like I said, his team's a little bit wild. And you'll see at least almost half of the Pokemon that he has. And you'll see why it is wild. I'll even go over some of the teams, or some of the Pokemon he didn't actually bring, once you see his team, I mean. Because it is a little bit nutty. So I had a little bit of trouble building a team with the people who I build it with. Shout out to you. I appreciate it. And you're going to see that he's actually going to be bringing the Zebstrika, Alolan Muck, Mega Metachamp, Magearna, who should be banned from every league. That thing's a joke. Azumarill and Araquanid. Pokemon that he did not bring are Blacephalon, Donphan, Shaman, Flygon, and Deoxys Speed. This dude's team is literally insane, but we're bringing our Mega Manectric, Mamoswine, Skarmory, Noivern, Sableye, and Delphox. And we'll be going over the team, as we will be stopping on a different number, because, of course, I can't really use the other number because he went to a different number. If you don't know what I mean, then my favorite player just went to a division rival. So I don't use that number anymore. I have a different number. And we're going to go over the possible leads. Looking at that, his team, I could possibly see an Azumarill, a Zebstrika. Really, that's all I could think of. So I was thinking, you know what? I lead off with Manectric enough, and I don't want to become predictable. So I think I'll lead off with my Noivern. But that's beyond the fact, because we're going to stop at 29 here as we go over the team. Why is it 29? Could possibly be the last member of a certain group that I have been known for the longest time. But we're going to start off with Izanagi, the Mega Manectric, who's pretty much rocking the same exact set, other than a switched up version of its speed stat, which now he's able to outspeed the Zebstrika, because that's the next fastest Pokemon. There's no way I'd be able to touch Deoxys Speed, but that's not really a problem because he didn't actually bring it. So everything is looking A-okay, but we have, of course, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, HP Ice, and Volt Switch. Pretty much the same thing that we had last week. We then move on to Vitala, our Mamoswine, who this one is a little bit different. I think I'm running the same stuff, but I did speed creep the Magearna, and I have I still have the same moveset, Life Orb, or Rocks, Stealth Rocks, Earthquake, Icicle Crest, Ice Shard, but I'm holding the Life Orb to give myself a little bit extra damage. I am Adamant Nature, akin to last week, so everything should be fine. We then move on to the return of Jatayu, our Skarmory, who's physically defensive with Spikes, Whirlwind, Roost, and Brave Bird. I ended up going with Brave Bird just because Araquanid's HP stat is actually not that bad for recoil, because if I hit it with a Brave Bird, then the recoil actually won't hit me as hard as, say, if I went up against like a Wobbuffet or something that has a lot of HP, like Blissey. Blissey's a better example because at least I can escape from from a Wobbuffet. Regardless, it's looking at this, it'll probably have to switch into the Alolan Muck and the Araquanid and the Azumarill and all that fun stuff. It's I don't know, it's gonna be tough. It's really gonna be tough. Especially the fact that I have to hold another physically defensive Pokemon in the back, waiting for a specific moment. We then move on to Wyvern, our Noivern. How that rhymes, I don't know. It just happens to work that way. But we have a rocking Dragon Pulse and U-Turn, but we're not running any freaking Flying Stab on this thing because I wanted to be very careful. I'm running Defog. It might bite me in the butt, but we're gonna find out. But I am doing something different this time. Because this one has the Z move. If you don't know, my Z captains are Lucario and Noivern. You only get 2 of them. So, since Lucario's not here, no option there. But I do have the option to have the Z Crystal on my Noivern. And that's what we're running with, as it's a Z Flamethrower. I could have ran Z Heat Wave, but Heat Wave has a chance to miss. And Z Flamethrower and Z Heat Wave have the same damage. Like, what's it called? I can't remember what the general fire type Z move is. Infernal Overdrive, that's what it's called. But they do have the same amount of damage, 175 base damage. And the idea is, if I can just bait the Magearna in on my Noivern, and if I can even hit it with a Flamethrower, or, well, hit it with a Flamethrower once, I can perhaps finish it off with another Flamethrower, or if I can just get in regardless. I looked at it, and after a little bit of chip damage, I'm pretty sure it would just be one shot by Infernal Overdrive. So that is good to know, and I hopefully have an answer for that. Because if you didn't watch the last video that I faced Magearna in, then you will know that I got completely destroyed by it, and I don't want to do that again. So we'll get to that response in a second, but we have our Sableye Black Frost coming back. With, this is the physically defensive Pokemon I was referring to, but it has Taunt, Recover, Will-O-Wisp, and Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch was there for the Blacephalon that's not here, so I don't really know what I'm going to be using it for. I guess the fancy guy over there, Mega Medicham. I don't know why I'm blanking on the name, because it literally is immune to both stabs. I mean, theoretically, a Thunder Punch or an Ice Punch or a different sort of move can hurt me really bad, but I'm hoping it's not going to come to that. So then we go to our Magearna response. The Magearna response team. Oh no, it's setting up. We have, this is especially defensive, my friend Yatsufusa, the Delphox. I don't know why it's my friend, but Pokemon are my friend, you know. I like Pokemon. So we have Mystical Fire and Psyshock yet again, because Mystical Fire on a set like this is always useful, because it's 100% chance that it'll lower its special attack. So if I can get something in on that, lower its special attack, I can go off there. We then have Wish again, but I was trying to think of a move here, because Will-O-Wisp doesn't make any sense, because I already had it on Sableye. So I'm like, you know what. I'm actually going to give it Magic Coat. Who knows? It might come in handy. I don't know. Who knows if it comes in handy in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to hope that it comes in handy. But it's just there, just in case if I need it. It's just, think of it as like just a random, like a dollar. Like, hey, look, $1 in the ground. Let me pick that up. This could be useful. Something like that, you know. That's funny. We're going to, of course, continue on, and we're going to go over the 25. You can see right there how I started it before 25, because usually I enter my team after 25 before, and yeah, I don't do that anymore. How could you? I am trading you on Madden 16 too, so at least I got something out of you. Salty, salty, salty. But let's begin this match. And let's hope we can finish off our curse. Defeat our curse that we've had in week 4. was our 7th attempt. And let's hope for the best, because I don't really want to deal with the worst. And Rapture is going to send the challenge. And of course, we're going to lead off with Noivern. I did mention that. And he's going to lead off with the Araquanid. And what does this mean? Well, it means we would have been in a great situation if I had Flying Stab. Alas, I did not pack that. So, but of course, he doesn't know that. So maybe I can force a switch. Unfortunately, if you didn't see that, the Frisk picked up a Cobra Berry, so I don't believe he's actually going to switch out. So I'm predicting some sort of water or bug attack, maybe weaken the Noivern a bit. I don't know. And yeah, so at this point, I just want to get off damage. I can't really touch this thing, so I just go for the U-turn to get a better switch in. But the fact that he stayed in, I don't like the fact that he stayed in. So now I'm thinking, you know what, I have to make a passive defensive play. So I'll go into Jatayu, and there is the Sticky Web. Something I forgot about, even though I've been running the most improved, or how Pokemon improved this type. And I went over that. I saw that Araquanid now gets Sticky Web, but it just went over my head in this game. Like, I thought nothing of it. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't gotta worry about it. Well, I didn't even think that. I didn't think that I had to worry about it. So now I have that on the field, and if I'm pretty much just dumbfounded, because now I'm gonna have to figure out how to get Noivern in here to freely get off a defog. But until then, I'm just going to set up hazards of my own, just force and restrict his switches a lot better, or a lot more than what I can. So I'm going to drop 1 layer of spikes right there, and you know what? I'm just going to do it again. I have no reason not to. I can just get up another set of spikes, and of course Max is making this easier to commentate over, because he's taking such a long time, but he actually has Magic Coat himself, and at this point I'm like, dude, this guy's really good at prepping, it seems. Magic Coat and Sticky Web, and at this point I'm thinking, yeah, that definitely has to be physically defensive. I calced it, and yes, it has no investment in attack. So that clearly tells me he only has this as a switch into Mamoswine. Well, not necessarily specifically Mamoswine, but it's one he can switch into, so it's an option that he can switch into. So at this point, I can't go for spikes because he'll just bounce it back. So do I roost or go for the attack and break the Cobra Berry? So I'm thinking, yeah, no, if I can break this Cobra Berry, it'll be nice. I knew he had it, but I can just break it, get off a little bit of damage, and then the next time I can go for the Brave Bird, then I can go out and bang, do it again. I can hit him with a Brave Bird, and it'll hit it harder the next time. So with the Cobra Berry out of the way now, it'll be a lot helpful. He goes for the Liquidation again, does not get the defense drop, because if you didn't know, Liquidation can drop your defense. But at this point, I'm sitting near half, so I'm going to go ahead and roost up here. That might be a passive move, and I'm predicting him to switch out into an offensive Pokemon, because it's a little bit predictable. I'm trying to think of a way to explain it without necessarily giving away my complete game plan, but at this point, it is a little bit understandable and predictable, because it's a wall that you want to have your highest HP on, so it was bound to happen eventually. So he does make the offensive play to go out into the Zebstrika, and everybody calls it Marty. I don't know why I called mine Zebo back in the day. No idea, but because I'm pretty sure it's a zebra. Zebstrika, zebra. Why do people keep oh, Marty from Madagascar. Duh, he's not a donkey or a horse. He's a zebra. I've been watching that movie such a long time, so don't get on my case about that. Regardless, we're in this situation, and of course we're going to have to switch out. And I knew an overheat was coming in the back of my mind. I really did, or at least some sort of fire move, because it made the most sense. So I didn't really need to switch into my Manectric here, but I'm like, it just, when I was thinking about it, I clicked it, and I'm like, he's gonna go for a fire move, but I'm gonna do it anyway. because I just didn't really think much of it. Now, I know he probably could have, like, such a thing as Hidden Power Ice, which is a possibility. I just didn't really think of anything of it, if you know what I mean. Because this thing is life-orbed, I believe. Yeah, it is life-orbed, if I remember correctly from what I just saw. It kind of blew back my Mega Manectric. So now I'm sitting here with a low Mega Manectric. I haven't even Mega Evolved, and I'm, again, forced to switch out because I can't really do anything about it. The problem is, I have to go out into my special wall here, and that's actually going to be the my Delphox, and oh my gosh, this just gets worse and worse. Goes out into his Alolan Muck, and that's definitely not in my best interest, because if he has Pursuit, then just wave bye-bye to my only special wall. I'm being serious. I literally, this entire turn, you're going to see the move time just tick down and down and down and down and down. The problem is, I'm thinking, if I switch out, I get blown back. If I stay in, I get blown back. There's just no way around something like this. I can't sit around here playing around. I can't switch out. So I'm thinking, you know what? I know I'm faster than this thing, and I could get off some damage, but I don't really want to risk it. If he goes through Pursuit, I guess that's fine to an extent, because, I mean, sure, it'll be 80 up to 160 because it's super effective. But, yeah, he doesn't have it anyway, so that's fine. I was predicting, like, if a poison move or something happened, or a dark move, then that's fine. But oh my goodness, the hits just keep on coming, as this is not the position I wanted to be in either. So, back to back to back turns. Actually, it's more like back to back to back to back, because now I have to go right back into my Skarmory just to take this liquidation. And here we are. We are back to virtually square, well, square 2. Square 1 would be my Noivern, and I wasn't about to bring that in. But with a Sticky Web and 1 layer of spikes up, as he goes to the Magic Coat here. Now, I want to explain this next play. I knew the Magic Coat was coming. The only reason I went for Whirlwind right there was to get something in for free. Now, theoretically, I could have switched something out, but I didn't want to risk it. If you went for the liquidation, and then I could just Whirlwind him out, that's fine. But the idea was, if I could get in something free, now that's a wild idea to do, but it didn't end up working out, because Mamoswine came in, then I had to bring in Skarmory here, and then Skarmory's defense falls from the liquidation. So, overall, that was a pretty terrible play to do, but, well, in hindsight it was. But imagine if I got in with my Mega Manectric, just for free. For free. In my thought process was, if I switch out, I risk taking damage, but if I go for the Whirlwind and he goes for the Magic Coat, I can get into something for free, all the while, if he doesn't go for Magic Coat, then I Whirlwind the Spider, Araquanid out, and that's fine. The problem is, now, I'm pretty sure my defense dropped again, so I am forced to switch out, because I cannot roost up to take another liquidation. That would put me into 2-hit KO range, and I can't just sit here roosting up, lowering my PP on roost. I can't do that. But back to the Whirlwind play, that's why I did that, because I'm just trying to get in something for free, but at the same time I could throw out something of his to have him at a disadvantage. I'm trying to think of a way to explain that. But here, I'm actually going to switch into my Noivern here to take the liquidation. Takes actually a lot better than I expected, but now I can either do two things. I can go for or rather, I can threaten a flying move that I have not revealed yet, which actually is Defog, and I was considering going for Defog here, but I actually went for the U-turn here just to get a better pivot play. If I could do that, that's fine. And that's actually what I'm going to do here. And now, everything is in my side of the field. I could have gone for Defog, but that doesn't really make enough sense for me. Because, well, first of all, that would just ruin my... I wouldn't say ruin. That would just blow away my my spikes but that would have gotten rid of the sticky web. But the sticky web hasn't really been that much of a hamper just yet, so that's why I didn't actually do it, and I needed to get more of an offensive play rather than a passive play at that moment in time. So here we have the Alolan Muck and my Mamoswine, and I'm thinking, you know what? In team building, they mentioned that, like, hey, if you're ever in a Alolan Muck, maybe put out the Stealth Rocks. Maybe. Unfortunately, I was predicting a switch there, and that's why they mentioned it. The problem is, I could have gone for Earthquake and just knocked this thing out, and that would have been amazing. But instead, he pulls the bluff, I guess. I'll have to see his side, because I have no idea what was the haps of that. But, yeah, that's not really what I had in mind. I am able to pick off the Araquanid there as I go for the Earthquake, but at what cost? Even though I'm up 6-5, I mean, Mamoswine's weakened really badly. My Manectric's weakened really badly. It's going to be kind of difficult to get a Wish in on either of the two. I'm going to have to get lucky. Yeah. So right now, even though I'm ahead 6-5, it's definitely not in my best interest right now. Or rather, it's not going my way, I would say. Because, I mean, like I explained it, two of my Pokemon are weakened really badly. They're both in the yellow, well, mid-yellow. And, yeah, both of those are two of my offensive Pokemon. It'd be one thing if it was a wall, because then I could just put offensive force out. But if I'm just stuck there with a wall, I can't really do much. And this is the Zebstrika, of course. And I'm thinking, you know what? I know I outspeed the Magearna and such, but what really do I need the Mamoswine for? And this was a big mistake. And I'll explain why later. But this I would say is a misplay for sure. I let the Mamoswine go down, spoiler alert, because I'm thinking right now what I should do, and I should have kept it. And I stay and just go for the Ice Shard to get damage on this thing. I go to the Low Kick, which takes out Mamoswine, which is pretty cool, you know. But well, it's not cool, but you get the idea. You're gonna see why this is a mistake, because I'm thinking, you know what? I still have something for the Magearna, that's fine, and there's no way for Alolan Muck to heal itself, and that's where I went wrong. And you'll see it why here. So I go out into my Delphox here because at that point I thought that was just tech. I thought that Low Kick was just tech, and I could just go for something else. Like, because he went for the Overheat just now, or just a few turns ago. So I'm thinking he has, like, Thunderbolt. And Thunderbolt, of course, is pretty interesting for sure in this situation. But like I said, I'm predicting Thunderbolt at this point because I didn't actually test I didn't actually calc this, because I don't know why. I need to calc a lot more things, because here comes a big Wild Charge that now weakens my Delphox. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? How does this even... Like, how have I put myself in this situation where now I have a second Pokemon and that's now hurt? Technically it's the third, but if Mamoswine didn't go down... I'm just not predicting things right this game. Call it the Week 4 curse. Oh boy. And it's cursed so bad that I'm even coughing during the recording. That's not the best either. And it's all up to him. I'm predicting the Alolan Muck. That at this point I'm thinking, here comes Muck. Here comes Muck. No, it's actually the Azumarill. Actually the Azumarill. In the back of my mind, I'm still thinking, how in the world can I get Noivern in here to get rid of these? And at this point, I'm thinking, you know what? I have 2 layers of spikes, and my Stealth Rock's up. I think that should be good enough, and it kind of inclined me to not actually do that and just bite the bullet. The Sticky Web really isn't hurting me too bad. That doesn't sound too bad, but yeah, but now I need to go back out into my Skarmory. I actually get some health back from the Wish that I just put up from my Delphox, and yeah, that's the best I can do at this moment in time, because that at least saves a turn from me having to roost up afterwards, because who knows, if this thing has Liquidation, which I'm pretty sure it does, it might have taken me out, actually. So, looking in this situation, once again, I just want to go for Whirlwind. I'm thinking about Whirlwind, and I should have gone for Whirlwind. I really should have gone for Whirlwind, but I wanted to set up a second layer of spikes. I thought I had 2 layers of spikes up, but now I do. And now I'm thinking, I should have Whirlwinded there. I really should have, because now I'm forced to go back out into my Delphox. He's going to get hit with the Sticky Web and the spikes and the Thunderbolt, and Soul Heart is going to take an effect. But if I can threaten this thing out, then that won't really be a problem. And right now I'm thinking about who to bring in. Mega Manectric is the best option because I can I wouldn't say get rid of it, but threaten it out via Flamethrower, and I can get my Mega off right quick, which is something I've been needing all game, because the Intimidate is actually super clutch. Fast Intimidators are a hard thing to come by. Usually it's slow Intimidators. Who's a slow Intimidator? I don't know, but here comes the Muck, and this is why I should not have let Mamoswine go down. Because of a Figgy Berry, which means his HP is back to full, or near full, if you want to call it that. And that really, really, really is not the best. And he has a move, or is it the move? Or no, the Figgy Berry goes after half, that's right. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I can't really remember. I've used it before in Generation 6, or earlier in this generation, but you know what I mean. At this point, though, I'm thinking, who should I go out into? I'm really strongly thinking it's my Skarmory at this point, because I'm immune to the poison, and Dark type, that's fine. But this exactly why I need a Mamoswine. I jumped the gun there, I've lost my Mamoswine, and this thing can continuously heal up with Recycle and a Figgy Berry. But at this point, I need to just get some sort of damage on things, and hope and pray that I don't accidentally Whirlwind something into the Magearna. Because, if you know me, I know eventually it's going to happen. Because, oh boy. But I do go for the Whirlwind again as I go for the Liquidation, and my defense drops in the Mega Medicham. So while normally that would have been an okay switch-in, it's not anymore. It's not anymore because now at -2, I can't roost up at this moment in time. I don't think I would have roosted up regardless because of the off chance that this thing could have Thunder Punch, which is totally likely, but this is why I need to go out into, I wouldn't say it's my counter, but it's just there, because maybe I can get a nice Will-O-Wisp on it. But he does have the Thunder Punch, does a ton of damage, and paralyzes me. I do weaken it with the Rocky Helmet, and I'm thinking, okay, so I'm at least hopefully going to hope and pray that this Sucker Punch can do enough damage that I can go into something else and then hit it, you know, such as the Noivern. That's my best bet. Hoping I can do Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch. Of course it's the Bullet Punch. But, I mean, it's self-explanatory. It's understandable because it's priorities. Pretty useful in leagues such as this, but now I'm sitting at 4-3. And this is when I go out into Noivern and frisks the Metachamite, which literally doesn't make any difference because it's pretty obvious. It's a Mega Metacham. But he's going to switch it out and go out into the Alolan Muck. Rapture's not taking... He's not taking the bait. He's literally not taking the bait. I needed him to go out into the Magearna. That's all I needed him to do. So, I have to go out into Skarmory again, because I don't really want to take anything else. He has the Figgy Berry regardless, so even if I were to sit there and just Dragon Pulse it again, the Figgy Berry would activate. I don't really want to waste my Z-move on a Muck that probably would not kill, because, first of all, I want to save that for the Magearna. That's the whole point of it. I don't really want to just waste it on that. That was the ideal moment, but now I go back out into Skarmory, and this thing has Thunder Punch too! And fun fact, it also gets a Paralysis! I'm pretty sure that's a 10% chance to actually get that. It's a 10, 15, or is it 20? I don't think it's 20, otherwise everybody would be running it. But here, there's the Recycle again. So back comes its Figgy Berry, and he just Whirlwinds me right out into, or rather, I Whirlwind him right into the Azumarill. And this Azumarill is just going to go for the Liquidation because I'm too fast, or rather I'm too slow to do anything. So now I just have to hope that Wyvern can finish this off with a Flamethrower. He frisks the normal EMZ, which is interesting, but then after the end of the battle, Max said he had the wrong item. It was supposed to be a Choice Band, which actually would have been a different one. So he sort of misgendered it, but not necessarily. Well, rather it didn't matter. And all I need is a flamethrower just to kill, and it literally comes up one short. Ice Punch comes in, and that's it. That's pretty much it. I don't think we can win. All we have is my Mega Manectric, which is literally about to just go down. Speed falls, 7 HP, and I was hoping the game would end just there, but alas, it's not gonna happen.
Joker, get up! No! Joker!
So, the game is over. What a truly foolish end.
Hold on! Not yet! There are things we need to cover! Whoa, wait, what? Wait, deja vu? Like, it's morning again? What happened? Well, I guess I won't try that shadow again, but I heard that there is another palace nearby. One has formed. And that's another step in the direction of a certain national place, you know? That's what we need to do. That's what this whole Rain City Redemption is here for. And next week, we face the Chicago Shaman Sky. And this is somewhat connected to somebody I know. You'll hear about it next week because I can explain it a lot better then. So, if you're excited for that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Drop a like to start the climb today because we need to climb back to where we were. With that, I hope you enjoyed. And I want to thank you for watching. I'll have to catch you back at the top later on because that's how we do what as I completely butcher my outro. That's what I get for being warped back in time, I guess.